Well, hello, beautifuls, and welcome to another episode of The Gifted Table. Today's segment is going to be an episode I'm starting called Catch Her on the Rise. You know, us leaders as we're moving up in our positions. And so today we're going to look at how to get ready and how to move into your promotion right here on The Gifted Table. Today, we have taking her seat, pulling up her chair really, really close. Is one of my amazing, beautiful, long-time Her Story friends. You know, we got Her Story together, Miss Bonina Flowers. Welcome to the table, my love.
Thank you for having me, Mel. It's a pleasure.
Now, listen, y'all, she didn't call me Mel. That's how you know. We've been knowing each other for a lifetime because people who've known me forever, they call me Mel. People who've been knowing me more recently, they call me Mal. So that's how you know we are sister friends. And she is Bo to me and to our group. So welcome to the Gifted Table. I'm so glad you are taking your seat. You're pulling it up close. And when I say I'm excited to have you here for Catch Her on the Rise, the people just don't know about your journey, my dear. So thank you so much for giving me your time and sharing your gifts here at the table.
Thank you.
Let's first start off with you just telling us about your professional industry. What industry are you currently working in?
So I am in the internet technology industry. My company is a manufacturer of everything that connects the internet, basically, whether it's hardware or software.
How long have you been there?
22 and a half years. It's been 22 and a half years.
And how could that be? You're only 25.
I started in the womb.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. Because that's what this glow is, people. So she has been in the tech industry. And first of all, we don't even find a lot of women in the tech industry in several segments, be it there in the data, in the development, in engineering. So how has that been for you or over 2 decades, just positioning yourself and moving and navigating yourself through the tech industry?
So I honestly started off in sales, right? And when people think about technology, they don't think about all the different jobs that a technology company has. I moved in from sales, learning the technology, and then into a more technical role. So it was a progression over the last 22 years. But yeah, I started off in a sales role.
And isn't it amazing how it's like even this industry, people don't realize it's its own entity. And you have to have every branch like its own little city. And so from starting from sales to where you are, which we're going to get to, has been a progression. And that's why we are catching you on the rise, because you have been just projecting yourself intentionally through the industry. So tell us about your role in your organization.
So right now, I'm a senior leader in what is called our customer success organization. So it's really a technical services role where we help the customers. My team helps the customers after they've purchased our product, get a deployment plan. You know, we find out how they're going to use it to make sure they're having the best experience once they, purchase the gear, get it received, and implement it into their networks. So we work hand in hand with the sales team, and we work across multiple industries. You know, our customers are service providers, which are, the big ones like your telephone companies, your cable companies. And then we have the enterprise organizations. So we work with the restaurant industries. You know, when you think of your most popular fast food chains, where you buy your coffee, though that industry is one of our biggest customers. The banking industry, like anywhere you go, basically, that needs internet service, if you can get on Wi-Fi, when you go to a retail store or in your bank or wherever you go, we touch those companies.
So what has been your journey in leadership within your organization?
I've been a leader the whole time that I've been there, right? It maybe not in position, like in title, but I've always shown leadership, and that is important for those who want to be leaders, right? But my leadership journey started in title 15 years ago. I was a team lead because I handled some of our toughest customers in the service provider area, which are the biggest customers that any company can have. I need people to understand when you're a leader, you look to solve a problem.
That's right.
Whether the problem comes to you or you are looking, if you find something that's not right and you're like, this doesn't make sense, because you know me, Mel.
Right.
Things have to make sense to me, right? So the leadership journey started with me solving a problem in the company. I was like, hey, we can't process this way. We have to do something. They put a Tiger team together, and I was part of that Tiger team to figure out how to fix it. And so after that project was over, they made me a team lead. I went on to solve other issues in our processes, right? And so because they knew me as the go-to to resolve issues with processes, they made me a manager of people shortly after.
And what I love what you said a moment ago was that I was a leader when I started. And it's that mentality that a lot of women don't walk into their positions in. And I could even probably include myself. It's like you get hired, you're like, yes, somebody wanted me. Awesome. But you have to walk in like, okay, this is where I am now, but this is not where I'm going to stay. And how can I best exercise my skills, my talents, my resources, my gifts? How can I bring them to the table to help benefit and add more value to our organization? And you are one for solving problems. And one thing I love about you is that you like to anticipate things before they happen. The problem isn't something that you're resolving, but that you are putting a stopgap in between. Would you agree?
I would.
How have you been an influencer within your organization, knowing that that is something that you are really key at doing, just looking for something to solve it, which helps to generate your leadership skills?
If I can be honest with you, I was tired of it because I feel like, for lack of a better phrase, I was the cleanup woman, right? And I'm very clear on this to everybody that I work with. I'm not going to lie to you, and I'm not going to lie for you. Right. So, how are we going to, and that is very key in leadership, especially to build trust, because people know that you're always going to tell them the truth. It's so funny. We have a tool that you have to answer all these questions like within 30 seconds, the first thing that comes to your mind, and it spits out, kind of what you are, right? And the phrase says that I bring structure to drama. I didn't realize that that's what I had been doing for many, many years, right? Until I had to, take this test that kind of tells you how you work with people and how things come together. I was tired of being the cleanup woman, but I realized that the way God blessed my brain to work is things have to make sense. And so if a process doesn't make sense, I question it. I'm known as a disruptor because I'm like, this is not going to work. I remember having the biggest deal with one of my teams, and our processes could not, it took us like months, like literally 3-4 months to process this deal. And you can't do that because customer satisfaction is impacted, right? It took me saying, I need people from IT. I need to work with whoever we need to work with so that deals like this can be processed through the system. The bottom line is, yes, I'm a leader. Yes, me and my team have a job to do. I don't want to work that hard.
Right.
So if you're manually doing stuff, if you're having to have an outlier process every time something is an exception to the process, the process isn't working.
Yeah, fix the process.
That's it.
People, I wish you all knew her the way I do. And this journey has just been great. So tell us a little bit about your latest promotion and why you wanted to take that seat at the table.
I honestly know that this promotion came from God. I was in diversity training with one of my staff, and it was people from all over the organization, all over the company, really, just not in my organization, but all over the company, really, because I work for a very large company. One of the leaders, one of the directors was a part of the program as well. And because of my participation in the program, and I didn't even interact with this person. Because of my participation in the program, he said, I have a senior leader position on my team. I want you to go for it. And I was like, okay, I'll take a look, and so when I looked at it, I was like, I don't think it's a good fit. I gave him a shout out in the program, was like, thank you. I don't know if it's a fit for me, but I just was flattered that he thought of me, and we didn't even have a direct interaction, right? I mean, it was like a month. I could not stop thinking about that job.
Wow.
And the rec should have been closed, right? The opening should for the job. So I asked him, is it open? Is it still open? Because I think I'm going to throw my hat in the ring. And he was like, yeah, please do. So I applied, and they closed the rec right after I applied.
Look at God.
Let me tell you how good God is.
Tell me.
I still get emotional thinking about this. 200 people apply for that job.
Oh my gosh. Listen, people, we like she said, we are here at the table.
200 people apply for that job.
And see how they waited for you, purposely for you. That was yours. Let me tell you why. Because first of all, you have been obedient to your calling. Let's just put that out there. You have been obedient to your calling. You have been committed to your organization. You have not wavered. And you have constantly given your best and above and beyond. So for this recognition, and what I love about this is I asked you, why did you decide to want to take your seat at the table? But this table was created for you.
It was.
Seat was already made for you.
It was.
Because of your gifts, because of all the things you have done. And look at that. Look at that. Okay, people. If you're not in a word right now, we are unapologetically witnesses and worshipers of God. So I understand what my sister is saying right now. So all glory to him. I love it. I love it. So now you're in this position. How would you describe your leadership style? And then how would others describe your leadership style, your staff, your team?
So I consider myself a servant leader. You have to lead from all sides. I don't like to micromanage people. I know, people always say you shouldn't assume, but I'd like to assume that you know what you're doing, and you should be able to come to me when you don't know what you're doing. I am a very open and transparent leader. I'd like to tell people, I'm direct. You will always know where you stand with me. So because you don't have to guess, it builds trust. Mm-hmm. I even tell, my team, because I lead leaders now. I don't think I said that.
The leader because at first leaders.
I lead leaders now. And then they have individual contributors. Mm-hmm. And so I tell them all the time, you don't have to like me, but we need to respect each other.
Yes.
Because like comes and goes. Mm-hmm. You might not like something I do. You might love something I do, right? But if we respect each other and we build trust, then the light comes. My job always as a leader is to build trust and respect, and then to ensure my team knows that I 100% have their back, because I've always told them as well, whatever you mess up, we can fix as long as you don't kill nobody. Because if you do that, I'm calling the police. But otherwise, we can fix it. So let's build truth and trust and honesty, and know that whatever it is, I'm going to have your back. So we can move from there. Now, as far as what would my team say, I just feel that they would say the same, because they know that they know. And I've only been in this new position for 3.5 months now, but they know that I have their back. I know when people trust me when they start telling me their personal stuff. Like some people will just open up and tell you everything. Right. But when you get into the nitty gritty of, okay, I'm having a bad day because of this. And I'm like, okay, what do you need? Mm-hmm. When I know that the person trusts me is when I know that I've done, a good thing with the individuals, and then having the team trust each other, because the whole goal for me is to make everyone's weakness become a strength, and whatever your strength is, to share it with everyone else.
What were some challenges that you faced as a leader that you kind of capitalized on that challenge?
I'll be transparent and say I thought I was stuck for many years. Like I believed I should have been at this point maybe 5-6 years ago. The biggest challenge that I've overcome that helped me the most is, and you know this about me, I am very direct. Mm-hmm. That does not bode well in corporate America all the time. Mm-hmm. People like for things to be finessed. I'll give you an example. Someone was talking about a process and that, that process didn't apply. Their team never did that. And I was like, that is not true. They felt like, you're calling me a liar. And it wasn't true, but that doesn't mean you have to say it like that. Or that's dumb. And I would be that direct, like this is dumb. I remember the biggest lesson was a manager said to me, you can be off-putting and abrasive. I will take that with a grain of salt, because I was like, you curse at people. I don't curse at people. I said, I think people don't. And so I had to learn to adjust tone. Mm-hmm. I had to learn to, in my directness, I can be direct, but I could choose better adjectives. Mm-hmm.
A little softer.
Yeah, I don't have to say that's dumb. Now, when I think something is dumb, I question why. Mm-hmm. Instead of saying, this is stupid, why are we doing this? I'll say, is there a reason we have to follow this process? Is there a different path we can go? Because I'm thinking this. But that wasn't always the case.
But that's maturity.
So, absolutely.
Maturity.
But it took somebody saying, and our friend tells us all the time, Bonina, you are not invisible. We can see your face. That was another thing. I would be in meetings like,
listen, I'm already telling people I have to remember to fix my face. My former secretary, she was my girl. She would hear me in my office and she would hear the tone and she would just come to the door and go, so I get it.
It's like all of those things matter. Body language matters. Tone matters.
Absolutely.
Word choice matters. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying don't be your authentic self, because I think that is what's gotten me far. That's what's built trust. I had to finesse, some things in order to, so that was a big, in a whole roundabout way, that was the biggest challenge that I had to.
And I hear you saying things that's dealing with emotional intelligence as well, because we have to identify how we like to be connected and how we want people to best connect with us. But then we also have to realize our emotional intelligence isn't the same as somebody sitting right next to me. And that can affect the dynamics of a team if we do not know how to communicate and connect with people based on their emotional intelligence, by paying attention to their body language and how they're responding to us. So you mentioned your challenge and you mentioned, DEI, which we know is diversity, equity, and inclusion. But would you say some of those things happen because of your gender or just because of the industry you're in? What has been some of those connecting factors?
Part of it is being a woman, and I'm on several meetings a day where I'm the only woman, and I'm certainly the only Black woman. So it's a little bit of both. And, I've had to have some very tough discussions, some difficult conversations with folks on perception. Perception can change, as soon as you see my face. And so it's been a challenge because, you get the microaggression. It really is microaggression, and having to manage through that can be tough. And again, because I was direct, I didn't always handle the situations properly. But as I've matured, like you said, I've definitely learned from those experiences, and I'm not afraid to have a difficult conversation with someone who's different from me so that they can learn.
Right.
Let's deal with this head on. Let's take care of it. Are we good? Okay, let's move on.
Who do you want to most impact within your organization? Are you supporting other women leaders and mentoring others so that they can catch themselves on the rise?
Absolutely. I'm a part of what we call the employee resource organization for Black professionals in our company. So I'm really keen on catching those who are early in careers. So I have a specific mentee that I'm sponsoring, because there's a difference between mentorship and sponsorship, but that's a whole nother conversation. But
next on the gifted table.
Anybody who comes to me for mentorship or guidance or help, I'm going to help them. And it has served me well. But because the IT industry does not have a lot of people of color that are specifically Black, that is my passion at this point, because everybody who comes into IT think they have to be an engineer, but you don't. You can be a project manager or a program manager. You know, you can be on the support side or operation side. You can be in, like what my team does on the customer success side. And although you have to know technology, you don't have to be technical, right? And so I want to be able to open that door of what the possibilities are in technology for Black women.
Love it. You've told me about your journey and how you're supporting others. Now, looking back on this amazing journey that you have experienced and that you are continuing to explore, what is something you would tell yourself now to prepare for the role that you're in today?
I would tell myself and any person who's looking to be in leadership that you need to solve a problem. Look to solve problems that nobody else is trying to solve. You know, you get noticed because it's all about, you know, being visible, right? And relationships. But if you're solving problems, those relationships will form. And then also ask for the leadership responsibilities. Carla Harris, she is an executive in the financial industry. She had a scenario where she was talking about getting passed over for a promotion because she thought getting promoted, doing a good job, working hard would get you promoted. And she got passed over and asked the boss why. And he said, because you didn't ask.
Wow.
So I took that week, got myself together, put down everything that I had been doing. Yeah. And I went to my boss and said, I need a raise. I need a promotion. I want to be a different grade.
Because guess what? Men do that all the time.
And the person that got the promotion over her was a man.
Mm-hmm. See, men do that all the time.
Here's the other thing.
They negotiate their salaries better than we do. All of those things.
Always ask for more.
Always.
All I can say is no. You have to know your worth. Mm-hmm. I would tell myself, you have to know what you're worth.
If you don't tell yourself, who will?
Go for it.
Yes. Go for it, sis. Go for it.
So those are the things I would tell. I would, tell myself, thinking back.
I love it. Your trajectory is already to the moon. But looking ahead, what is it that you want and what is it that you need?
I want to make as much money as I possibly can because I don't want to do this forever. Do I want to make director or VP? If that's what God has in the plan, I'm going to work towards everything that he has for me, right? I'm going to serve because I believe my whole purpose is to serve people. So I want to be able to serve people and to the best of my ability. Go from here on out, right? however I can do that in whatever leadership position I'm in. What I need is work-life balance. Because I'm so passionate about what I do, I'm passionate about people, always checking email, always trying to figure out, taking notes, taking my laptop everywhere, even though I shouldn't, when I'm on PTO. So striking a really good work-life balance is what I need.
Well, this has been unexpected, but expected, joyful conversation for me. I'm so glad that you took your seat here at the Gifted Table and shared your experience and your gifts with everyone. Oh my gosh, I know someone has been blessed by the words you have said today. So thank you, sis. Thank you so
for
much
having
being
me
here.
I love you.
Oh, I love you more.
Thanks for having me.
And I can't wait to see you really soon. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for taking your seat here at the Gifted Table. I know that you have received a message about how catch her on the rise and what you need to do to promote yourself. So be sure to like this video, subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and share it with someone. And as always, remember, stay grounded, innovative, fierce, transparent every day. In other words, stay gifted. I'll see you next time.